The Gemara tells us that before a baby is born, so right as he's being born, so the malach that he has had the pleasure of being a chavrusa with and learned together with for the past few months, so the malach makes a shvuah. He says, swear to me that you're going to be a tzaddik. And he swears, and then the malach says, okay, great job. Off you go. When we forget all the Torah that we learned, then you're in the world. The question is, what is the significance of that shvuah? Why does the malach make us take a shvuah if the Maisa we're not really remembering that shvuah? But the truth is that this concept of shvuah already appears also in Chumash a few times. We've seen that when people want to make sure that things get done, so they take a shvuah. So what's an example of that in this week's parsha? What happens in this week's parsha? Yaakov dies, and before he dies,
he excuses his brother to marry in Israel.
He calls his sons and he makes sure, specifically Yosef, and he says, listen, Simna yadcha tachat yarechi. This is a serious shvuah. I want you to hold me. And Yosef says, listen, Vayomer anochi esakid varech. I'm going to do it. Whatever you asked, I'm going to do it. And Yaakov says, no. Vayomer hishavali. I want you to swear to me you're going to do it. Vayishavalo. Then indeed, Yosef swore to Yaakov. Vayishtachu Yisrael al Rosh Hamitah. And sure enough, that's how the episode ends. What's the significance of this shvuah? Why is it not good enough if Yosef HaTzadik says, I'm going to do it? Why is Yaakov looking for shvuah? This happened also previously with Abraham. When did Abraham request for a shvuah?
When he sent Eliezer out.
When he sent Eliezer out. Excellent. He sent out Eliezer and he says to him, promise me, right? Promise me that what?
You won't take from the daughter.
Then you're not going to take anyone from Eretz Canaan. I want you to go to my own place and get a shidduch from there. So what's the significance of this shvuah? So Rav Zevi Reichman has a sefer called Flames of Chassidus. Have you guys seen the sefer? It's a great sefer. In the first piece of Flames of Chassidus, he discusses this particular episode, and he says the following. It's generally speaking, human beings do not operate in full capacity. When you're running, when you're playing, when you're learning, anything that you're doing, you're generally not operating in full capacity. You don't have the adrenaline pumping. You don't have the wherewithal to operate in full capacity. For whatever reason, that's how HaKadosh Baruch Hu created us. But there are certain times where we're backed into corners, we're pushed into certain situations, and then we operate in a much more concentrated and full capacity form. So, for example, if a person, lo aleinu, would see somebody trapped under a very, very heavy log, so he would be able, depending on the size of the log, obviously, but there's a good chance that while normally he cannot lift that log, over here he would find the fortitude and the strength, some sort of galvanizing force that would say, ugh, and push it off. Right? If you have a big test and suddenly then intellectually you'll be operating, when you feel like there's a lot riding on it, so sometimes you operate in much greater increments of capabilities. Intellectually, strength-wise, we've heard stories about parents that went into buildings with fires to rescue their children. All of these things. So, Yaakov knew that this is a difficult task. To ask the Viceroy of Mitzrayim to leave is not easy. To ask Eliezer to find a wife for Yitzchak is not easy, because Eliezer also he wanted his own daughter to marry. So he said, I need you to really tap into that place where you're fully committed, where the adrenaline is pumping. So he said, Hishavali, make a swear to me, because that makes it more serious. That makes it like the stakes are higher, so you go, and the stakes are higher. That's what Yaakov wanted from Yosef. He says, listen, Paro's not going to be so quick to dismiss you. We see actually later on in the parsha, it's like a back and forth. He's not going to be so quick to dismiss you. Paro wanted Yaakov to be buried in Mitzrayim. Why does Paro want Yaakov to be buried in Mitzrayim? When Yaakov came, blessings. Right? Suddenly the Nile rises. He wanted Yaakov to stay. He was a fixture in Mitzrayim. There's a story that Charles de Gaulle was very, very upset. I think it was Charles de Gaulle, I'm not sure. But he was very upset when Baron Rothschild, whoever was the president in France, was very upset when Rothschild made it clear that he wanted to be buried in Eretz Yisrael. Because that kind of says that my affiliation is not with France, it's actually with Israel. So this is going to be tough, so you need extra strength. Before we are born, the Malach makes us take a Shavua in order to remind us this world is not easy. To be an Eved Hashem in this world is hard, right?
That's right.
That's right, very hard. To be an Eved Hashem in this world is very hard. And we need a little bit of a push. We need to be reminded, listen, the Malach says, it's not going to be easy. What I'm asking you to do is to make a Shavua. So that sometimes when you're down and your back is to the wall and you're contemplating, can I not? Remember that you're actually stronger than you think. You can operate in greater capacity than you normally operate. Find the fortitude, find the strength, and push forward and plow forward, and you'll succeed. That's why we make a Shavua to be at tzaddik. So B'ezras Hashem, we should all be zocheh to be tzaddikim. We should all be zocheh to find that inner strength that we have and operate in it full capacity all the time. And we should be matzliach.
Amen.